Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Ritt. I'm an artist and a tarot reader, and today's reading feels like we're going through a lot, and I recognize that that's kind of nothing new. We are going through a lot collectively, individually. These are such crazy times and crazy intense times, but I'm also seeing it here in the cards. So I have this feeling of wanting to move past difficult situations. Just kind of the energy I'm getting is just really wanting to be done with them, wanting to walk away from things that it feels like we're still carrying inside, and just really wanting to release those things and having that still not be as fast acting as we would like. So you have this energy of Eight of Cups. Cups are water, so they get into that emotional territory. This energy is about leaving difficult situations behind. Situations that have felt, well, the message that I'm getting is situations that have felt as if the cards were stacked against us. You know, I mean, the way these cups are uneven, there's this feeling of emotional discord that this person is leaving behind. You know, their back is facing the cups, so they're moving on to greener pastures. But here it's reversed, and so there's that feeling of really intense energy that we're still working through in order to leave behind. We're not quite there yet, but it's coupled with justice. And I am getting, I've been recognizing this lately, the messages that I receive, sometimes they can feel very cliched and also just very accurate. It's I'm not sure if it's that my guides speak to me in cliches sometimes because the most obvious translation is actually really helpful for my brain to wrap itself around as the words come out. Maybe that's it. But what I'm getting is that message of time heals all wounds. You know, I mean, we are, for as much as we'd really love to be over and done with whatever the heck this stuff is, you know, we're getting there. And what justice tells me is that we are healing and things are unfolding as they need to. There is there is justice. You know, there is justice in the world, and there are ways in which things happen that can speak to that more poetic form of justice. You know, there are ways in which things unfold kind of symbolically and in ways that are significant to us, in ways that take on their own meaning that's readily accessible to each one of us in a very personal way that wouldn't necessarily make sense to the next person, you know? So there's that as well. There's just this feeling of hang in there because things really are unfolding in perfect time. You know, we are in the process of ridding ourselves of this stuff, but it almost has to be a little bit gradual in order for things not to feel too extreme, you know, or too intense. You know, it's that incremental healing is important too. So yeah, there's that going on. There's also this feeling of situations where maybe we once felt on top of them, you know? And interesting that these readings have been coming up where it just feels like we're so together and so in the moment. And then, you know, that passes, and whatever the next challenging thing that needs to come up, I intuit that, and those situations are there. So like that may be the next reading. So it's that really interesting kind of wave of situations that form these intense times that we're living in right now. So what I'm getting is that, you know, we've been through situations where with this energy, This such boss energy, you know, I mean, literally another ruler, the emperor. We've had our structure and our order in contained ways, you know. I mean, this is situations where we felt really on top of things for a time, and then that kind of passes, you know. I mean, here it's coming up reversed. So there's that feeling of maybe things were flowing relatively smoothly for a time before they collapsed in order for something new to form. And so we're in, once again, that uncomfortable in between where something new is forming as we leave behind something old, but we're not quite there yet. So it's in progress, you know. And the other energy that's coming up is Wheel of Fortune, which, again, the most consistent message that I get with this energy is it's in progress and we are making progress. And it is in what feels like a future position for me, or upcoming. So it's like we are making progress going forward, and whatever difficult things we're wrangling with right now, those will serve us in our motion forward. May feel a little bit contradictory because it's easy to just label pain in the butt situations as that, like they are what they are, surface reading, that's it, you know. And sometimes when you're in it, you're just in it, and you have to feel the discomfort of that before you can move out of it again and kind of receive whatever wisdom was there for you to receive through that irritating situation. And that's what I'm getting here, is that whatever the irritation or the sadness or the grief, I mean, this is a range of emotions that we are working through, you know, moving through as we let them go and leave them behind. This is a range of emotions, you know, and each one of them contributes to something that much more beneficial and that much more satisfactory going forward with this energy. I feel like that's what this tells me, you know, that we really are making progress for ourselves, even when we are least likely or least able to see it, you know. And again, sometimes, like, when you're in it, you're just in it, and that has to be okay too. But thank goodness this stuff is temporary, you know. And again, it's unfolding perfectly if you allow that, you know. And that goes back to that other message. We always have the choice to prolong, you know, and just let whatever this awful stuff is fester. And sometimes the hard way is the only way we know, and we stay in that muck for a little while and then we move forward. But to remember that we're more powerful than we know, we have the ability to create solutions for ourselves. And sometimes the best we can do is just move through the muck, you know, and move through slowly. But we are progressing. That's what I'm getting. We are progressing. And I'm also seeing that in the artwork that I pulled. And this is artwork that's, you know, that's come up before. I've made, I want to say I have 16 different little pieces right now that I read with, that I enjoy reading with, but some of the same ones just keep coming up, which is so in keeping with tarot and working with the cards, you know, whatever needs to come up. I remember friends relaying to me this experience of cards that continue to come up and how spooky that feels for them. But it's that thing of whatever energy we're in, or we're working through. And so that energy will come up for us as many times as we need it to before we can allow it to shift, you know, and that's within ourselves. So the cards are always a reflection of our inner state. And isn't it cool the way energy works? You know, that we attract these beautiful images, you know, as I choose the cards. It's that sense of attracting these specific energies that the images encompass, right? The images of the tarot, and that we can see them that much more clearly in front of us in card form or in art form in this case. So yeah, so this time around, you have this same energy. I know this has just come up for us, and it's on its head. And the colors that are jumping out at me this time are the green and the yellow. Interesting, because I'm wearing these colors as well. And so what I'm getting is, again, that our emotions are wrapped up in a lot of what we're doing and experiencing. And there's a lot going on right now within our hearts. You know, this is heart chakra energy. Actually, both pink and green are heart chakra, and there's a lot of that. And then with the yellow, you just have all of this, I think of it as raw emotion. You know, there's a lot that we're processing. There's a lot that we're right in the middle of experiencing for ourselves. And there's a lot that we're moving through, and we will move through. That not only will we, but we are, you could say, moving through, even if it feels like just slowly or, yeah, at a snail's pace. We're still moving through this energy. So that's what I'm getting here. And with this lovely blue and white, the other thing that's coming up is our ability to communicate with our divine self. That's always available to us. You know, even if it's temporarily, even if we temporarily block ourselves from that, it's always there, it's always around us. So that divine energy that we all carry, that we all encompass, and our ability to receive higher communication, you know, communication from our higher self, I should put it that way. That's there, even if it's somewhat buried in our emotions and the intensity of whatever we're going through. And then also very similar energy here, you know, and what translates for me a lot of the time with this particular artwork is there's growth, you know, we're in the thick of a lot of really intense things actually, and you know, and this is where I'm coming from with it, in part because they do benefit us as we move through them. You know, they do give us new lived experience, and that is beneficial. But there's a lot of really charged emotion around the things that we're experiencing as we move through them. But yeah, the thing that's jumping out at me the most this time around is the powerful growth that we are also undergoing. And how fitting that there couldn't be a better time of year than spring. And we're just in the midst of spring, becoming spring. And yeah, again, that we're in the midst of a lot of really profound, really intense growth for ourselves is what I'm getting. And there's a lot there. There's a lot. It's like all of our beautiful, passionate dramas. And I mean drama in the most wonderful, all-encompassing sense, because we're all living out our own kind of drama to allow these beautiful dramas to unfold, you know, but that they encompass so much desire and so much emotion and so much passion and the potential for so much growth. It's that growth is right there. So that is what I'm seeing in these artworks today. So for all of you who just feel like you're struggling or you're in it, and again, to use another kind of slogan, it gets better, you know. I know that is not mine, but it's coming to me now. It gets better. and it's getting better, both, as we move forward. So I hope that you all have a wonderful day, or a satisfying day, or a partially satisfying day. Wherever you are, I hope that you find ways to be good to yourself, to soothe yourself out of feeling too much rawness all at once, you know. And I hope that you find satisfying ways to take care of yourselves as you move through this day and move forward. And yeah, for those of you interested in giving back to me and to this channel, you can check out my Patreon link. Patreon is a really wonderful vehicle for that. It's a way to donate monthly to me, and that can be as little as $1 a month, upwards of 10 or more, and you receive different benefits as well. I won't talk to you too much about that right now, but for those of you interested, please go ahead and check out my Patreon link. It is, I will say, it's been a major accomplishment for me this year. It's part of my forward motion as a creator. So again, I hope that you all have a satisfying day, however that translates for each and every one of you. I hope that it's satisfying one way or the other going forward. And I will see you again soon. Bye for now.